خوێندکارانی خۆشەویست، من مامۆستا بەرهەم ئەنوەر، پسپۆڕی بایۆلۆجی، مامۆستا لە پەیمانگای لاوک، لە ئامادەی زنار، لە ئامادەی گەشەی ناحوکمی، خاوەنی 8 ساڵ ئەزموون لە وتنەوەی وانی بایۆلۆجی پۆلی 12. لەم پرۆگرامە نوێدا لەگەڵتانە بم بۆ ڕوونکردنەوە و شەرحکردنی وانەکانی بایۆلۆجی سیستمی ئینگلیزی بە هیوای سوودبینین. سەرەتا بە خوێندنی چاپتەری یەکەم دەست پێ یەکەین. بایۆلۆجی پێک دێت لە تێکسبووکەکەمان پێک دێت لە 10 چاپتەر. لەم 10 چاپتەرە چاپتەری دەهەم تەنها یەک سێکشنی داخڵە. چاپتەری یەکەم لە 3 سێکشن پێک دێت. سێکشنی یەکەم بریتە لە The Human Body Plan. Section 2 is about skeletal system, and section 3 is about studying muscular system. That's why ناوی چاپتەرەکەمان بریتە لە وەکو ئەیبینن ناوی چاپتەرەکەمان بریتە لە skeletal and muscular system. skeletal and muscular system. لێرەیە فیگەرێکمان هەیە تەنها بۆ ئەم فیگەرە تەنها بۆ explanation-ە. You can see various types of body systems in human body. On the left side you can see the skeletal system of human body. The second one is about muscular system, and the third one is about cardiovascular system. You can see heart in the middle and the blood vessels distributed throughout our body. And here you can see the some parts of digestive system, and here we have brain, spinal cord, and the nerves that we call it nervous system. And here we have the organs of respiratory system and the endocrine system. ئێمە لە کۆرسی یەکەمی بایۆلۆجیە کۆمەڵێک human body systems خوێنین. ئەم سیستمانە بریتین لە skeletal system, muscular system, and cardiovascular system, then lymphatic system, and defense system, and later that nervous system, endocrine system, and finally la chapteri sheshama we will study reproductive system. Esta ema dest bi yakin ba khwendini we start from the section 1 of chapter 1. The section 1 is about human body plan. Here in this section we will study the building blocks and the components of human body. As you can see, the human body starts to take shape during the earliest stage of embryonic development. با من شتێک باس کەم بۆ تێگەیشتن لەم دێڕە. ئێمە با بڵین دوو سێکسمان هەیە لە مرۆڤە، male and female. Male has testes while females have ovaries. Okay, specific cells in the testes, as we study later that in chapter 6, specific cells in male testes undergo a specific process called meiosis to produce the male gamete called sperm. And specific cells in the female's ovary undergo the same process, meiosis, to make the female gamete known as egg. Both egg and sperm are haploid cells. They are haploid cells, means that they contain 23 chromosomes. And sperm when enters the female body after ejaculation in a place called fallopian tube. Fallopian tube is one of the female's reproductive system organ. The sperm can hit or reach the egg and fertilize the egg or enter the egg. The process of fusing egg through sperm or by sperm is called fertilization. Fertilization is the process in which sperm meets the egg, enters the egg, and fertilizes it. And the newly produced cell is called, let's say we have, this sperm, and here we have the specific egg. The newly produced cell, the newly produced cell is called zygote. Zygote is a 2N cell, a diploid cell. 2N cell means that it receives half of its chromosome from sperm and the other half from the egg. That's why the zygote cell contains 46 chromosomes. Later that this zygote undergoes various changes, becomes 2 cell, then 4 cell, and 8 cell, and makes a ball of cell, which called morula. Then the morula, which is still located inside fallopian tube, undergoes many changes. Morula, here you can see the human body. Here you can see the human body begins to take shape during the earliest stage of embryonic development. Here you can see the earliest stage. You can see the earliest stage of embryonic development. And ليروا morula becomes another structure which is much more complex than the morula, and currently is known as we study this in detail in chapter 6, which is known as blastocyst. And the blastocyst makes human main tissues and organs. The human tissues and organs are produced from this specific structure called blastocyst. Actually, blastocyst is the structure when it implants inside the uterus, pregnancy starts. لێرەوە پاشان چی دروستە بێت؟ با بڵێن فیتەسەکە دروستە بێت کە ئیتر یاخود ئیمبریۆکە دروستە بێت. ئێمە لێرەیە شتێکی دیکە ئەخوێنین. While the embryo is a tiny ball of dividing cells, it starts forming the tissues and organs that compose the human body. Here you can see, while the embryo is a tiny ball of cell, this is the tiny ball of cells, morula, undergoes various changes and development, to make the human body tissues and organ. And finally, we have the organism. The organism made of many organ systems. Great. So لێرە شتێکی ترمان هەیە. کاتێکە كاتك كإمبريو لا by the end of its third week the human embryo has a bilateral symmetry characteristic and is developing vertebrate characteristic. أم ترمى يعني شيء أليروا هلبت the day in which blastocyst implants itself in the uterus is the day 7. Day 7 after fertilization. Okay. Then later ڕۆژێکی ترمان هەیە on day 21 لە ڕۆژی 21 چیمان هەیە ئەو ئیمبریۆیی کە هەیە as you can see here أو إمبريويك here. This is the human embryo on day 21 after fertilization. أو إمبريويك here has a characteristic called bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry means what? Means that the left side is equal to the right side. This characteristic is called bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry چیه؟ يعني لم تمنوا لم أيجوا the left side of the embryo is equal to the right side of the embryo. كلهم في قرية أي بينين. Here you can see كما يقول في قرية قورة بكين. Here you can see أمروفا بينين. You can see أجر إما لسرة وبوخواروا أمروفا كت بكين. Okay. أبينين the left side is equal to the right side. بلام بيجي bilateral symmetry إما فورمي ديكيتري symmetry من هي فورمك من هي بيلين radial symmetry أما بو منهجي إما داخلنيا بلام تنها بو تيجيشتنا بو نمونا أم أورغانيزي ليرا همانا بريتيا ل jellyfish أجر كتي بكين تبيني كين لهر لايكو كتي بكين بهر جوري كتي بكين أما چی من دروستەکە equal side من بۆ دروستەکە ئەم سایدە ئەم پیسە ئەمانە وەکو یەکسانن ئەمە پێڵێن radial symmetry. بەڵام هەندێک ئۆرگانیزممان هەیە وەکو سپۆنج کە ئەمانە invertebrateن لەناو ئۆشن و لەناو دەریاکانە ئەژین ئەمانە asymmetrin واتە ناتوانین لەلایەکەوە کەتی بکەین بڵێن the right side is equal to the left side ئەمانە equal side یان نییە. So سێ کاتیگۆریمان هەیە asymmetry and radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Human body has a bilateral symmetry characteristic from third week of its age. Okay. أنجا إما تایبەتمەندیی ترمان هەیە لەلەشی مرۆڤ شتێکی دیکە هەیە کە پێڵێن developing vertebrate characteristic و ئێمە لەناو لەشمانە vertebrae هەیە. vertebrae یعنی چی؟ vertebrae means the presence vertebrate characteristic mean the presence of skeleton, or for short we can say the presence of bone in the body, and this vertebrae will support the upright body position. Okay, here we have some basic information about human body. about some, you can see some embryonic development, some embryonic stage, and you can see from two tiny cells, from two tiny gamete cells, a zygote is formed, and the zygote undergoes various changes, various arrangement to make the body of the organism through making and producing tissues and organs.